Anyway, can you hear me okay, Kyle?
I can hear you okay, Brad.
Okay, there we go.
That was excellent. Starsky and Hutch-esque music right there to introduce this.
It is. It is. Is that your first experience with the slap bass?
It really was. I really liked it actually. So
I love it. It's a little different from our regular episode music. I think it's a nice little change of pace for Thursday night. Baseball family, let us know what you think. Welcome to the Thursday Night Live episode of the Baseball Together podcast. And my name is Brad. Brigg is out this week, so instead I'm joined by my guy Kyle. Welcome, Kyle. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, Brad. Just fighting through traffic, getting ready for the regionals to start tomorrow in the NCAA baseball tournament. One of our teams, Utah Valley Wolverines, will face off against Oregon in the Eugene Regional. So kudos to Nate Rasmussen, first-year head coach, leading the Wolverines to the WAC tournament title. Funny story real quick. 2016, they won the WAC tournament. They beat GCU in the season series. And the week that they went to the WAC tournament, I was up at my wife's family's cabin. Well, this year they beat GCU in the season series. And the week they go to the WAC tournament, I was up at my wife's family's cabin. And lo and behold, they won. So, yeah, good omen.
I feel like there's a trend and something that we need to make happen every year.
I would say so, but they're no longer going to be playing GCU, so it's not going to be a trend anymore. So, yeah.
That's right. They're going to the Mountain West, aren't they? Is that right?
That's the plan, but they don't know if they're going this year or they have to wait a year. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens in the next month.
Well, maybe they'll wait one more year, and then I can go to the games again when they come down and beat them next year. So that's because we got to go to one of the games this year, and they walked all over them. It was like a game for like 4 or 5 innings, and then all of a sudden it wasn't.
Yeah.
We're like, well, cool. That was a lot of fun. So. But anyway, baseball family, again, thank you for joining us on Thursday night for our live episode. Before we get into anything, as always, we want to remind you about Chinook Seeds. Head to ChinookSeedery.com to get the best seeds ever. You know that because it says so on the package. And you can take my word for it. You can just go get yourself some and save 10% on your order. Use code BTPOD at checkout. Save, like I said, 10% off your seeds. My seed of the week this week, Kyle, is lemon pepper. It is the official flavor of Bobby Witt Jr. It's fantastic. So, again, BT Pod at checkout, ChinookSeedery.com. Support your mouse, support your wallet, and support your show. Support the show all at the same time. All right. Before we get into anything else, though, we are going to move on a little bit. Kyle, since it's your first time on the show, we're going to do the same thing we do to everybody their first time. You're going to get caught in a rundown. Are you ready for some rundown questions? Just like I did to our guys at UVU at the tournament. You're going to get the same treatment. Are you ready?
I'm ready to go.
Okay. Question 1. What is your quest?
What is my quest? To watch a baseball game at every MLB stadium. I'm still disappointed I didn't get to go to the old Yankee Stadium, but, every Major League Baseball stadium.
That is an admirable and fantastic quest.
It is.
What
I've
is your
got some
favorite
marked
color?
off.
Oh, sorry.
I've got some marked off.
How many do you have left? How many? How many do you have left?
I think I counted 7 so far. So
I haven't even been to 7. I don't think. No.
Yeah, I was counting it. There's Chase Field, Wrigley, Coors Field, Globe Life Field, PNC Park, Citizens Bank, and Camden. So 8, actually, Brad. I've been to a game.
I thought you've been to Camden.
I have.
Are those those that you have been to?
Those are the 8 that I've been to, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you had 8 left. I was like, whoa, man.
No, those are the 8 I've been to. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. I've been to T-Mobile a bunch, Angel Stadium, Target Field, which is my favorite, Truist, and Chase. So I've been to 5.
Nice.
So
it's crazy how
hopefully
you could catch like 3 games in 3 days if you timed it right, like on the Southern California coast, right? Or back east, you could catch a Mets Yankees, day-night game, and then a Red Sox game the next night. So there's ways to work this out. So
yeah,
I just gotta figure out a way to, tell my wife how I'm gonna do this. So yeah.
next year I should be checking off Petco and the Marlins Stadium. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. What is it? Lone Depot.
Yeah, something like that.
So
Yeah.
we have a comment. Somebody's asking. Quinn says, "What's Target Field?" That's where the Twins play.
He got to sit on press row when he went to Target Field.
And then I got to go into the clubhouse after and do interviews. That was pretty awesome.
Jealous. I was so jealous when he was sending me
It was
pictures
really
of
cool.
that.
So not only did I get to go on press row and do the clubhouse, but like I got to go like behind the scenes and everything down on the field, because it was me and like 3 other guys there for a journalism conference, and we're like, we don't know where to go.
Yep.
And so we just found an usher, and he's like, oh yeah, you got the press pass? I'll show you. Took us down to the field, and he showed us everywhere to go and all this stuff. There's like a secret cafe behind the first base seats that's like under the bleachers and everything, behind the dugout. And then we went up, we got free food in the press box and stuff. I literally brushed elbows with Torrey Hunter. It was pretty
sweet. It was almost brand new at that point when you went.
It was pretty new, yeah. Yeah, that would have been 2016. Gosh, that was almost 10 years ago. It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
When did it open? Because I don't know.
It was it opened in 2010, so it was 6 years old when you went.
That's pretty new for a ballpark, kind of.
Very
it's
new.
Like midlife for a new ballpark these days. All right, anyway, sorry. I digress. Next question, what is your favorite color?
Purple.
Nice.
As much as I bleed green or Cubby red and blue, purple has been my color from elementary school to middle school to high school, and just purple.
Forever. Nice. I dig that. Okay, you're a Cubs fan. If the Cubs were a beverage, what would they be?
Strawberry Dr. Pepper. I'm just going with what I like. I'm just going with what I like. So
that's typically what people do. The one answer we did get that somebody didn't like was they were a Red Sox fan and said that the Red Sox were orange juice and toothpaste most of the time, but sometimes they were champagne.
So I don't drink alcohol, so I don't know the combos and stuff. So I can't really say. So I'm just going with Strawberry Dr. Pepper because that's what I like, and that's what I reach for when I go to a gas station or something like that. And yeah.
If anybody ever asks me what the Mariners are, it's Diet Mountain Dew. That's what I've got right here.
Okay.
Always. Okay, last question. If baseball was an ice cream flavor, what would it be?
Ooh. That's a loaded question right there. I don't know, because I have a mix. I mean, either double strawberry or chocolate chip cookie dough for me.
Chocolate chip cookie dough is
I'm a strawberry connoisseur, man. It's just...
I can tell.
Yeah.
All about it. Yeah.
Since I love the game, and I love the Cubs, I'm going to say things that I love. That's what they're going to be. So,
obviously.
I'm going to run with it.
Nice. I like it. I have to say my absolute favorite ice cream is in Ogden, Utah at Far's. I'm sure you've been to Far's at least once in your life. Play-Doh, because I'm 12. And it's so good. I have never found. I mean, Superman is close, and I've had that a couple times. But Play-Doh is unique in and of itself, and it's amazing.
The next time I'm in Ogden, Utah, I may have to stop by Far's and get a Play-Doh ice cream cone.
At least get a sample. It's not for everybody. I'll be the first to admit that, but it's good. I like it a lot. It's fantastic.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, that's the rundown. Great job, Kyle. You survived. You made it through. Okay, we're gonna have to burn through some things here. First things first. Okay, the Angels activated Robert Stevenson. He's a pitcher, and in a corresponding move, they designated Tim Anderson for assignment. Stevenson, he signed a 3-year, $33 million deal, In 2024, he pitched Wednesday for the first time since 2023. But I don't feel like he's the story here. He's just kind of like, oh, gee whiz, look at that. The story is that Tim Anderson got DFA'd. That TA went from winning a batting title in 2019, top 10 MVP finish in 2020, had the iconic walk-off in the first ever Field of Dreams game that they still show, right? To gets knocked out by Jose Ramirez, gets DFA'd by the Marlins in 2024, and now by the Angels. This year he's slashing 205, 258, and 241. His on base is higher than his slugging percentage. Holy smokes!
That's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
It is. The dude is just under just a shade under 500 for his OPS.
You know, the first thing you already mentioned it, when you were introducing that, but the first thing that came to mind when you showed me what we were going to discuss and how Tim Anderson was going to be on this was that brawl between him and Jose Ramirez. Like, that was in 2023, and now he's not even in Major League Baseball at the moment. So, like, Jose Ramirez, that right, hook or whatever,
Literally knocked him out.
Maybe knock the screw loose in Tim Anderson's ability to play baseball because, I mean, but let's be real though, he was on a bad White Sox team, so they couldn't figure out what to do with a guy of that caliber. But man, it's you think about that. The Roughneck Odor, we haven't really heard much of him since he did that whole knockout with Bautista.
Well, and he went to the Yankees for a bit and shaved, and then that was really the end of him.
Right. So, like,
but
maybe
Bautista
that's
was
just a
fine.
trend, right? When guys get in brawls like that, it's just kind of the downhill slope once you take a punch or you land a punch or something. I don't know, man.
Was that punch from Odor? Was that before or after the bat flip? I thought that was before the bat flip.
I think it was before because I don't think the Blue Jays, that was the year they made the playoffs, so it was before in that season.
So Bautista was fine.
He got knocked out, though. People will say he didn't. He did. You could see.
Dude.
He was stumbling from
He
that
did,
part.
and Anderson definitely got knocked out. And I don't think they ever put Anderson in concussion protocol. They had to. They should have.
Well, that's the White Sox organization for you right there. So.
Well, and apparently the Yankees with Anthony Rizzo, too. But but I'm curious, Kyle. Is Tim Anderson done, or do we need to see one more stop go poorly for him before we stick a fork in him?
It's a good question because sometimes a new home or a new spot can make all the difference, right? We've seen that. Like Jake Arrieta when he went from the Orioles to the Cubs, Jake Arrieta was lights out for the Cubs, right? So we've seen how that can play out. Kyle Schwarber was really good with the Cubs, but he stepped up a level with the Phillies, right? And I hate to see that, And then Javi Baez was good with the Cubs. He went to Detroit, was terrible for like the first year or two, and now he's putting up numbers, So maybe just that third time is the fourth. What is it? That's his fourth time, right?
It'll be his fourth.
He was with the White Sox, and who else was he? The Marlins, and now the Angels. So maybe the fourth time's a charm. I don't know, but sometimes in baseball, though, you got to have a little luck, and he hasn't had any luck, over the last 2 years. So I don't know. It's hard to fathom, that a player of Tim Anderson's caliber is done, but sometimes you just, when you're not at that level, you got to hang it up, right? Or you're not going to get back to it.
Right.
So I don't know.
My thing is, I feel like him going from the White Sox to the Marlins to the Angels, it's pretty lateral, right?
Yep.
You're getting the same thing across the board. Bad teams on all three of those. You're not necessarily getting the coaching that you would need to bring yourself out of a funk. And he needs a good team to pick him up and give him the coaching or the mental coaching along the way. I think that he needs to get him out of it. I don't think that any of those three teams are going to be the place, but I also don't know if there's going to be a good team that's going to take a flyer on him.
Yeah.
Like, we'll bring him in on a minor league deal, we'll work with him, see what he can do, and we'll have him as injury depth, right? Bring him up if something happens. And I don't know if he's willing to do that either. If he loves baseball and wants to keep playing, he probably will.
Careers, though, like this, or maybe I shouldn't say the end of their careers, but they get to this point, maybe they do take that flyer and they could be that clubhouse guy in September and into October, right? I mean, we've seen guys that have done that over the years. So, he's a vet, right? He's been around. He knows how to play the game. It's just a matter of sometimes you have to change your mentality of how you approach the game. I mean, like Moneyball with that scene with David Justice and well, I can't remember the actor who played David Justice, but Brad Pitt, talking to him in the batting cage, they talk about what do we want to get out of this, and he lets David Justice know, like, the Yankees are paying you this much to play against them. That's how much they think of you, and so you be a leader and stuff. So maybe if, like you said, maybe if an organization wants to take a chance and say, Tim, this is what we want to get out of you. Can you do this? Maybe he'll find himself on a contender. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody I've been keeping my eye on him since the White Sox let him walk. I was curious what he was going to do. I was curious how things were going to go in Miami. Curious how things were going to go in Anaheim, and I will continue to be curious because I loved watching him in his prime.
Yeah,
because he was electric. He was
those White Sox teams. The Cubs gave them a bunch of gifts when they traded for Jose Quintana back in 2017. And man, all they've done is just go. I mean, the White Sox organization's a mess, right? And
big time, top to bottom.
I mean, they had all the talent in the world, but it's like, I don't know. You feel for them, but I'm a Cubs fan, so I don't really feel for the White Sox organization.
Quinn says it was Jason Statham. Was it Jason Statham? I don't think it was. We'll have to check IMDb to fact check that, Quinn.
I
hope it was.
In Moneyball?
In Moneyball playing David Justice.
No, it wasn't.
It might have worked, though.
For a fact, it wasn't.
All right, let's move on and talk about Ronel Blanco. Astros pitcher Ronel Blanco is out for the year with Tommy John. He's going to miss the rest of this year, some of next year with rehab. So this is who you get with Ronel Blanco. Last year he had 29 starts. He threw a no-hitter, 2.80 ERA, 167 and 2/3 innings pitched. That's 3 times his previous high before last year. Okay. This year, 9 starts, 4.10 ERA, 48 and 1/3 innings pitched. That's 4 innings shy of his total in 2023. So he's been working. He's been a workhorse, especially compared to what he was his first couple of years. But Kyle, mostly I want to know, are the Astros in trouble without Ronel Blanco because the Astros rotation goes to Hunter Brown, amazing, Framber Valdez, amazing, but then you've got Lance McCullers Jr. struggling this year, Ryan Gusto has not found it yet, and Colton Gordon also has not found it this year. Do you think the Astros could be in trouble?
Well, yeah, when you lose a guy that started 29 games, like that's one of your, is he the what do I want to say? Is he their number one? Like, if you lose your number one, like that, you're in trouble.
I think he's
you don't have.
Hunter Brown's been almost the number 2 in the American League since he figured it out last year.
Yeah, so I mean, you lose that number 1 guy in your rotation, and one of the best pitchers in the American League. Like, every team would be in trouble. It doesn't matter how much talent you have in your lineup. It's just like the Yankees. They're winning games, but Garrett Cole's not pitching. But they're winning because they have talent. Like, the Astros have talent in their roster, but still, do they have the depth in the rotation to lose a guy like Blanco? I don't know. That's
the way I see it. The way I look at it is when you have your healthy rotation of Hunter Brown, Ronel Blanco, Framber Valdez, Lance McCullers Jr., and say you've got Ryan Gusto, you're probably going to win 3 out of every 5 days.
Yep.
When those guys are on the mound, right? But now, without Blanco, you're looking at 2 out of every 5 days, which is a significant difference in baseball. But also, I think the bigger problem is that they don't have Jordan Alvarez right now. I think if they get him, they're going to be able to make up for a lot of those runs that those guys are giving up, that they're going to start scoring more runs when Alvarez gets in the lineup because he has such a major impact on that offense, top to bottom. It's like we talk about, Brig and I talk all the time about Mike Trout. Like, the difference in that team when he's in the lineup is astronomical, and it doesn't make any sense. And it's the same thing with the Astros with Jordan Alvarez. That he's one guy. He only gets to play, 4 times a game? But the impact top to bottom that he has is unreal because he's so dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think mostly their problems come from not having Jordan Alvarez. They're going to have some issues with their pitching, but once he comes back, their offense I think will make up for it.
Well, and you know what I was thinking is they're in the American League West, right?
Yeah, not a good division.
You know,
as a Mariners fan, I
better
can
than
say that.
You think. I mean, you got the Mariners, Astros, the Rangers are 27 and 30, 3 games under 500, but I mean, we're talking in May though about all this, and I know we're getting into June this weekend. So ask me again after the All-Star break, you know, where they're at, where the Astros are at without Ronel Blanco, and when Jordan Alvarez comes back. So ask me again then, you know, because I think, like, I'm excited where the Cubs are, but I don't want to get too excited because there's still 3-4 months of baseball left. Like, it's hard to
It's a lot, yeah.
put too much stock right now into what's going on.
Yeah.
So ask me in 3 months.
I know. Just play the game, Kyle. Just play the game.
Just play the game. I know that's why we play the game, right? That's you know. It's
all right. That's a good measured answer. I like that. Okay, real quick. The Reds traded Alexis Diaz to the Dodgers today. Another guy to end up on the IL for them? Is that what this is?
I don't know,
because
man,
that's what happens.
I'm getting tired of hearing about the Dodgers picking up this guy or that guy and this guy and this. Like, I think it's karma that all their pitchers have been on the IL or they are on the IL right now. Because, man, they're just throwing dollar bills around. And I know that some of this money is deferred and stuff, but, like, it is ridiculous what the Dodgers are doing.
It still counts towards something.
I know.
You still have to. Well, this is the thing is that, like, I made a joke about how, like, it's going to come due and then the future GM is going to be like, oh, shoot, what do I do? But no, I understand it. It's all in the books and everything and it works out. But at the same time, though, like, this money goes towards something somewhere and you're going to have to deal with it at some point. Yeah. Right? It's going to go toward your luxury tax at some point. And I understand that, like, the way they've done it, it's not going to be today, you know? But, like, yeah, you've got to just keep cycling guys in because everybody gets injured. I feel like there's a problem with their pitcher, not even development, it's pitcher management.
Yep.
That all these guys are on the IL.
Yep. I agree with you.
And it's unreal.
I don't feel bad for him. I really don't.
I don't either, but it's weird to see. That's the thing, is it's weird to see.
Yeah.
Because we don't typically feel bad for the rich. But it's weird to see.
It is strange, but, you know, with the focus on velocity nowadays and, you know, I don't want to say not being really a pitcher, you know, like guys that can go deep. I mean, what's his Tariq Skubal for the Tigers?
Skubal, yeah.
You know, 103 on his final pitch of that complete game the other day. Like, that's amazing. You know,
another whack guy, by the way.
I know, Seattle University grad. Yeah. So, I think there's such a lack of emphasis on being a pitcher rather than just a thrower that it's hurting arms more often than not. You know, that's why we see so many Tommy John surgeries throughout the season, not just at the major league level, but at all levels of baseball now. It's sad to see, you know, but it's great to see a clip of Greg Maddux, you know, pop up on my reels, throwing 80-mile-an-hour fastballs or 80-mile-an-hour sinkers, and just nobody can touch them. So,
yeah,
I think that the emphasis on velocity and power over being a more balanced pitcher, right, has led to a lot of these injuries.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. All right, we have about 5 minutes, so we're going to zip through the rest of this real quick. Sorry, Kyle, we're not going to get to the Cubs today. We'll have to do it another time.
Not a problem.
I think you kind of touched on that, though. Just play the games. You got to see more.
Yep.
Before we move on, though, before we get to the TV schedule, we want to remind you about Patreon. You can support the show directly there. 5 tiers of support from $1 all the way up to $500. Kyle, I made promises that Brig is going to have to keep if somebody pays us $500 a month on Patreon. So if you want to see what those are, you guys can go check those out. Again, patreon.com, search Baseball Together, or just like there's always money in the banana stand, there's always a link down in the description. We have it there for you. All right, let's get into the weekend TV schedule. Friday, your free game of the day on MLB TV is The Nats at the Diamondbacks. That game is at 9:40 p.m. All these are Eastern time. Your Apple TV Plus games are the Red Sox at the Braves at 7:15, and then the Yankees at the Dodgers at 10:10. Saturday there is no MLB TV free game of the day. Thought that was weird, but that's a thing. FS1 is going to have the Brewers at the Phillies at 4:05. And then Fox, check your local listings at 7:15. It's either going to be the Twins at the Mariners or the Yankees at the Dodgers. Sunday, you do get a free game. That is the Brewers at the Phillies. Your Roku game, that's at 1:35. Your Roku game is going to be the Cards at the Rangers at 1:05, and then your ESPN game is the Yankees at the Dodgers at 7:10. Like I said. Series to watch this weekend. This is brought to you by SeatGeek. If we're going to games this weekend, these are the games we would go to, and we would use SeatGeek to get our tickets and get there. You can too by heading to SeatGeek.com and using code BaseballTogether to save $20 on your first order. That's BaseballTogether, one word, at SeatGeek.com to get your tickets to the biggest games this weekend and anytime. That's where I buy my Seahawks tickets. And SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MLB. All right. What series are you keeping an eye on this weekend, Kyle?
That's a great question. Well, since the Cardinals can't seem to go away right now, and they're only 3 games back of the Cubs, and the Cubs have been red hot lately, I'm looking at that Cardinals-Rangers series just because I'm paying attention to where the Cardinals are going. I like that Yankees-Dodgers series. That'll be interesting. Could be a World Series preview, right? Like that would be very interesting. Yankees been playing good ball right now. Dodgers right there as well. So those are probably the 2 that I'm looking at. The Red Sox-Braves is intriguing too. If Chris Sale, I don't know if he's going this weekend or if he pitched earlier this week, but if he's going this weekend, pitching against his former team. So those are the 3 series I'm kind of looking at.
I think Chris Sale went today. Yeah, he went today. And actually, fun thing about that is he becomes the 40th pitcher in MLB history to record 2,500 career strikeouts.
Wow.
And the fastest to reach the mark.
He may be, depending on where the Braves are, some people are talking, he may be on the trade block, and the Cubs may go get a left-handed starter since Justin Steele's out for the season with Tommy John surgery. So I'm knocking on wood here, not trying to jinx him.
Yeah. I'd go get him for sure. All right, my series, obviously I'm watching the Twins and the Mariners. That's going to be interesting. I'm not bought into the Twins yet. They went on that tear, and then they've been average since. So I'll see what I see this weekend. Tigers and Royals. Tigers best team in the American League, and the Royals are hanging around. The Royals are
They always do. They always do for some reason.
Well, recently, yeah, and I like it. I like this Royals team. They just need to get more consistent offensively. Obviously, I'm watching the Rays and the Astros division with the Astros. They're right on the Mariners' tail. And then Brig and I both have the Yankees and Astros, too. He has the Mariners and Twins as well. But the Yankees and Dodgers series is going to be, like you said, possibly a World Series rematch.
Yeah.
Or preview / rematch, all of it, all together at the same time.
Yep.
That's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun watch. Let's close with this. Today in baseball history, May 29th, 1955, Larry Doby hits the first home run ever recorded at Kansas City's Municipal Stadium. The homer came in the 6th inning in a 4-2 Indians win. With center field measured at 430 feet, Doby's homer is estimated to have been hit 500 feet.
I've hit balls 400 feet plus. I wonder what it'd be like to hit balls 500 feet. Like, that's just...
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day, Brad, just to end on this too. Those old Dodger Stadium and Comiskey Park, the originals, just thinking of balls that were hit out of there by Cecil, by Mickey Mantle, by, it's just crazy how far they can hit
crazy.
Baseball.
I know, I'm the same way. I've hit balls 400 feet before. I have no idea what it would be like to hit one 500 feet. I know that it doesn't feel like anything when you hit one 400 feet. I can tell you that. But I can't imagine feeling less than nothing to hit a ball 500. That would just be absolutely absurd and wild. Baseball family, don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review everywhere that you can. Thank you so much for joining us for this Thursday Night Live episode. Kyle, thank you again for stepping in for Brig. Really appreciate it. Baseball family, we will catch you on Sunday with Emoji Tears.